Today I want to talk about moving to a different city, maybe a different country. And I'm back here in the park. I'm currently in Silver Lake, LA, California. And today is my last day here. I've been here for like almost 2 weeks. I'm gonna move tomorrow. We're gonna move to Beverly Hills. Stay there for another week. Do a little road trip to Las Vegas next weekend, and then come back here and fly out from LA back to Sydney. And what I experienced here, especially over the last 2 weeks, and like here in Los Angeles, it's like every area, every suburb is a little bit different. And if you consider moving to like a new city or a place you've never been, a really good idea is to stay in a few different places, different locations, different suburbs, to find out what's going on there. It's really hard to know just by being there for a moment what's going on. For example, I've been here like for 2 weeks now, and what I've done is I walked around in the evening when it was dark, and I was walking around during the day when it's light to see like what's going on in the area. For example, what kind of like cars are standing around on the street, like parked on the street. What kind of restaurants are there? Are there any supermarkets close? Grocery stores, bars, restaurants, parks. It's like a park close by. If you're talking about a city who is like next to the ocean, do you have like a beach close by? Or maybe the mountains are close by, or some part of nature is kind of like close, which is always kind of like important, especially when you like move to a new area and you can pick the place where you want to stay. And as I said, like I've been here like for 2 weeks in Silver Lake. This area here is kind of like average, I would say, probably for America. There are like a few homeless people here and there. The cars are kind of like average, like normal cars. I mean, there are like a few damaged cars, older ones, but also I saw like a few like Porsches and stuff. So, which is definitely an indicator that they're like average or above average people in this area. Doesn't mean they live here, but at least it indicates that it's like a safe place to be. And I remember when I moved to Sydney, like around like 4 or 5 years ago, more like 4 years ago, before I committed to like a lease, like a long-term place to stay. I stayed in a few like Airbnbs and like houses before, like friends' places, like people I knew, Airbnbs, other kind of like short-term rental agreements I had to figure out, okay, what's a good area to live in, to stay in. And because obviously if you're moving to like a new city, you can pick the location. It's not like you have to be in one spot. If you move there for work, then I think it's smart to stay close to the place you're working to. because there are studies that say the closer you live to your workplace, meaning the less you have to commute to work, the happier people in general, because they don't waste so much time commuting there, being stuck in traffic and waiting around to get to work or getting home from work. Especially like where I grew up, I remember I had to do like shift work from like 6 to 2, 2 to 10, or 10 to 6. And after like a few, I would say it took me probably like a few years until I figured it out. The closer you to work, the kind of happier you are, especially like when you work like 4, 5, 6 days a week, because you have to commute every day. And the shorter the amount is you have to commute, the more time you get out. And if you visit family or friends, most of the time you don't visit them every day, maybe like once a week, maybe every second week, twice a month, or once a month. If you're in a different country, it's maybe twice a year, different state, I don't know, maybe once a quarter. But what I'm saying is, moving to like a new city, like a new place, I would always recommend staying closer to work. Or if you have like a hobby or like a special activity, maybe sometimes it also makes sense to stay maybe close to the beach. If you go to the ocean every day, if you're a swimmer, if you're a surfer, then it definitely would make sense. Maybe you're a skier, you like to ski, so you live like in the mountains. Or you have any other like special interests. But most of the time it's important to either like stay close to work, or what's another like location to stay is like a connection point. For example, like a hub for like public transportation, like big train stations, or like just like subways, close to subways, and maybe like a big like bus junction where like a lot of like people like going to or leaving from, because there you also have like shops, you have restaurants, you have bars where you meet new people. And these are probably like the most important things. When you're just traveling short term, like me, I'm here for like a bit more than 3 weeks in LA, and I also want to know like what's the city about, what are the people about. It's smart to like not stay in one place for the entire time. Maybe book like 1 or 2, maybe 3 hotels with different locations, Airbnbs, or maybe you have a friend, stay with them for a few days, or family, and ask like the local people what's going on, if they would recommend to stay there, or if they would recommend some other areas. For example, if I go back to the example in Sydney, I was always staying around the CBD because I wanted to know what's going on. Like I wanted to go out, I wanted to like party, I want to go to the beach, and most of the jobs are also in the city. So Sydney, for example, it makes definitely sense to stay in the city, even if it costs a bit more, but you're gonna save some time and you commute like way faster. For example, if you're in a city, it might take you up to like 10-15 minutes to get to work. It probably takes you 20 to 30 minutes to get to the beach if you have a car or not. I mean, you can always use Uber, and these are probably the most critical points if you think about like where do you want to move, where do you want to live, and where do you want to stay.